Alright, Shalom Michael. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that teach His word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And today, I just want to tie this lesson Chip Talk. And as each day goes by, prophecy is becoming more and more clear, man. You know, the things that's written within the scriptures are becoming obvious because this is the time where these things are going to take place, man. You know, and one of those things, one of the major prophecies that's about to take place upon the planet Earth is the MOTB being mandated and mandatory, man. You know, we seeing the steps that's leading towards it, such as, you know, the prelude of it, dealing with this thing. You rolling your sleeves up. And if you don't, you can't enter into these certain status businesses. You can't get a job or pretty much continue in this society unless you get it. So how much more when that thing come, man? You know, so I got this article. It's from yahoofinance.com and it reads, Crypto CEO. It says a viable central bank digital currency would have to be the law, see? And that's the transition that we're seeing now from cash to this digital form of currency. You know, everybody got a Cash App or Apple Pay or these different ways to, you know, means of transaction dealing with apps and, you know, well, as you see, it's going to ultimately become the law. It says the year after Satoshi Nakamoto put out a white paper on a concept for a new peer-to-peer currency called Bitcoin. It said Jonathan Darpalin realized that digital currencies are the future, see? But this is all the agenda of the devil, man. You know, it says the entrepreneur, a trained electrical engineer, spotted companies involved in electronic money flourishing all over as people learn to transact electronically using apps and mobile phones. It occurred to him that governments around the world will eventually want to get in the game and create their own digital currencies. See? And that's what's about to take place. That's why this is a global thing. See, matter of fact, let's get that in Revelation 13. I mean, not 13, Revelation the 3rd chapter. Because it tells this outward temptation is going to come upon all the world. See, this is not just going to be reserved to Babylon, reserved. This is a global thing. You know? That's why this pandemic affected everybody on the planet Earth. And it wasn't like I said, it was just going on in America. You hear shit that's taking place over in Australia, Canada, Germany, you know, a plethora of places. That crown is what's helping this man bring forth his agenda, man. So this Revelation 3:10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So keeping his word, having standing his truth, is gonna be the key ingredient for being preserved, man. You know, staying in it. You know, enduring into the end. The Lord will keep us from the hour of temptation, Jacob's trouble. And how we're gonna be tempted? By the way of that thing. You know, because of just now we seeing the prelude to what's about to take place when the MOTB is mandated. People being asked out of the society, man. Now you can't eat, now you can't drink, you can't work. You can't even go into a damn grocery store without that crown card, proof of that you got that thing. How much more when the MOTB is? Because now you have wiggle room. You can still go. Let's just say you can't go to this store, but you can go to the other store that don't require that thing. Well, it's gonna get a point in time where it ain't the only way to pay for the shit. You gotta have it. The only way to uh, continue in this society, you gotta have the thing, which is the MOTB. But it says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So we're gonna be tempted because uh, the so-called white man, the devil himself, is gonna take even the basic necessities, water, food, roof over your head, lest you comply to what he presents, man. It said, which shall come upon all the world, see, to try them that dwell upon the earth. So these other nations are all in it as well, man. That's why it's called a new world order. And we in the midst of seeing this man trying to accomplish that. But it's gonna come to naught. All this plot, planning, scheming, for centuries. It's gonna come to naught, man. But we see when the last stage of this man and his plan, attempting to crown his enterprise success, and that's gonna be by way of chipping the people, man. And when that time, you know, what else time period you looking forward to, man? This it. We coming to the climax of existence. So let's go back to the article. So it's saying I'm gonna read that last sentence again. It said it occurred to him that governments around the world will eventually want to get in the game and create their own digital currency. See, so this is a global thing. It's not like you still dealing with the euro, the paper euro. No, they moving on to that now. And you see it's becoming closer and closer to your hand. It started by you having, gold and silver. Now you got a few paper dollars in your back pocket in a wallet. Now it's in your phone, to pay. And ultimately it's just gonna be in your hand by the way of that chip, man. And it's not just gonna be your bank info on there, your social security, your driver license, all these things, you know. That's how you're gonna the only way you're gonna be able to continue in this society, unless you have it, man. Let's see. Let me just jump down a little bit. It says as the Federal Reserve weighs whether to launch a CBDC with a forthcoming paper on the pros and cons of a digital dollar, Dharma Palin says designing a central bank digital currency depends on the existing legal framework. See, our perspective is that currency is the law, Dharma said in an interview with Yahoo Finance. It said every nation or monetary union has a foundational law that defines what their currency is. See? So if you're thinking about a digital form of currency, then the laws must accommodate its existence. The executive added. See, so meaning what? It's gonna be a law for you to own it, for you to continue in this society by the way of, because this is a land trade. Everything is centered around buying and selling. The only way to continue in this society, you gotta have that thing, man. But as you can see, this man is pretty much saying that this new form of currency will be put in law, man. Revelation 13. Let's get it. Revelation 13, verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. See, so this Roman Empire it has been revived through America. That old Roman system is once again playing out all the way from, the different laws and legislations to its infrastructure to the form of entertainment all the way to its military, man. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak. See, and we seeing that now. By the way of his laws, legislation, his rhetoric, he's speaking. That's how this man is speaking, man. And say, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And we see in the beginning stages of that. By the, I said, people being etched out of society. Now you can't go into win this because you ain't got that crown card. That's them killing you out, rubbing you out of society, lest you worship the image of the beast. You being fired from your job. People are threatening. They're even these niggas are threatening to take away your children. And a plethora of other things to make you compromise. Or else. Yeah, I mean. And that's the beginning stage that was killing, like I said, they rubbing you out of society. And ultimately, it's going to lead to motherfucker, uh, 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 you know, leading you towards a guillotine, you know. Uh, or it tells you these different torture chambers and wisdom of Solomon to make you comply and bow down to the image, man. Oh, even dealing with the three holy children, once they was faced with the furnace, or bow down with the image, man. Well, it's a build up to it. We see the beginning stages of it now. Like I said, this man is asking you out of society. You can't go into certain status of businesses. You can't do this. You can't do that unless you got that thing. So how much more when that thing come, man? You know? It says, and he cause of all. Now that word cause of goes into pretty much an order, a decree. That's what it's about to come down to, a decree. Back then when matter of fact, let's get this in Daniel 3rd chapter, which we once again, what I said, when things are written four times, written for our learning, we finna actually see this chapter play out once again this lifetime in its perfection. Even though this event actually took place, well, we finna see this, cause that was an isolated event that we finna see this play on a bigger scale. Dealing with the elect and the elites. The elect of the nation of Israel. Being faced with these things and being delivered from that fiery furnace, man. So this is Daniel the 3rd chapter. And I just get to the point I started at verse 4. It said, then and the herald cried aloud. See, back then you had heralds, you actually had men that come out in the midst of the city and bring forth the decrees of the king. Well, now you seeing that now through the media, what this man puts forth on the media, the rhetoric, that's the herald now. What you see on, like I said, this man and his news channels and shit. It said, then a herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, see a decree, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar, the king, has set up. See? It says, and whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. So we seeing the line being drawn in the sand now, man. And it's only testifying. See, it was at one point, it was a suggestion to do it. But now as you can see, the word mandatory, required is being thrown around more and more, And ultimately, it's going to be do this or else. See, that's what it's ultimately finna come down to. What it said, when you hear this decree, when you hear the sound of the sounds of all kinds of music, you worship the image of the beast. I mean, you golden image. It said, but if you don't, you're going to be cast into the furnace, man. It's going to kill you. And we saying that, like I said, it's a build-up, it's a process to it that ultimately you being faced with guillotines. They trying to kill you now. trying to starve you out. You know what I mean? And put up other ways to make you compromise. You know. But as you can see, that was a decree to bow down to the image, and we seeing this the same thing now, man. You know. So going back Revelation 13 and verse 16 again, it said he calls of all. See, is a decree, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. See, meaning no matter what status you is. That's why you see these basketball players even catching the heat. You know, these different athletes and people that got a so-called voice, if they resist, you know, bowing down to the image, they, you know, is I forgot the guy that he was defending. I think he was defending Kyrie Irving, some guy off Sports Center, I believe. They were saying he was getting death threats and shit, man. So it don't matter what status. It's showing it now. By the way, just you rolling your sleeves and taking a jab. This ain't even the thing. You know, this just the beginning of it, man. The prelude to what's about to take place. But he was getting death threats, but he supposed to be a well-known guy of ESPN. But it don't matter. Small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So that mark is that charagma, a literal implant. You actually literally gonna get pierced. Ain't these people getting pierced now? By the way of them rolling their sleeves up? Well, it's gonna intensify when you actually you stick your hand out and they poke you with that thing, man. That palisade. This devil actually will he's gonna penetrate you. Then you ain't gonna be a virgin no more. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. See, so the only way you're gonna continue in this society, you gotta have the MOTB. This thing, the jab is a prelude of what's gonna take place, man. It's only gonna intensify, you know. And what else could the mark of the beast be? We see what everything actually leaned towards. This man and his wicked devices and his plots and plans and schemes. This what it's leading towards. This man and his agenda is now being made known. So what else, you know, could it be, man? Yahweh Shema Shah is making clear and obvious what the mark of the beast is, and that is hell, man. It's actually you know, it could be anything could bring that in. But as you can see, just going back to the article, this man said ultimately it would have to be made law. And we just read in Revelation 13 say he calls of all, which goes into a decree. This is the book of Psalms 12 and verse um I started at 3. It said the Lord shall cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that speak of proud things, and that's concerning the so-called white man. Because this man, he trusts in his laws. Otherwise, I said, let our laws be the strength of justice. With this man speak, that's what he leaned upon. Oh, it tells you that our tongue is our own, who is Lord over us. So they saying what they say goes. They got that God gun place. So it tells you also Psalm 73 that tongue walketh through the earth. You know, so this man set different laws and legislations up that's totally against what Yahweh Shema Shai set up. You know, and ultimately when he put this thing into law, the Lord's gonna cut this shit out, man. It says, who else said, with our tongue will we prevail? See, our lips are our own, who is Lord over us. See, and it lets you know this how this man, but he think in his warped thinking. This is how he's gonna set things up. His new world order. He's gonna sign it into law for you to take it. Like that's gonna make him win. Not that I said Lord's gonna cut off the flattering lips. Yeah, you know what I mean, and the tongue that speak of proud things. So and it's gonna come, the shit's gonna blow up in his face, man. You know. But at the end of the day, it's known what the MOTB is now. It's obvious, and we seeing a prelude to it, man. You know, so yeah, I might just hope that we edify. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect that teaches word on true faith and sincerity. DTA, Abide Ball. Soon, very soon.